afternoon, everyone. This is Nicole Robinson coming to you again with another episode of Meet the Mustangs. Today, I have the pleasure of talking to Darence Delgado, number 0 of the Connecticut Mustangs. So, how are you doing today, Darence?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Enjoying this, weather, not too hot, not too cold.
Right.
So before I ask you anything about football, let me ask you, how are you handling yourself during this pandemic? It's a crazy time right now, and a lot of people are getting affected by this virus in many different ways. So how is it affecting you and your family, and like how are you guys handling that?
Personally, it's actually kind of like hazardous towards my personal situation. So I kind of try to practice as much safety as I can with it
Yeah.
because it could affect the people in my home. But for the most part, I've still been working and whatnot, and it's just really just a point of trying to stay extra clean. That's all we can do.
Yeah, basically, just gotta stay clean and positive and try to just work our way through this craziness.
Right.
So why don't you just start with telling me a little bit about yourself, like where you're from, born and raised, some of the things you like to do in your childhood, things like that.
I'm from Bristol, Connecticut. I I started playing football in eighth grade. My hobby obviously is just really football, to be honest. But uh, besides that, I feel like I'm a analyzer of music. I like to listen to music and understand people's different messages and stuff throughout that. Um, and I guess you could say I'm a social person. I like to be around other people.
Oh, cool, cool.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people are really, social people, so that's a good thing, especially being in an organization like a football team because you're gonna always be around those guys when you're on the field. So that's pretty good.
Right. I learned to be vocal early because of football. You have to.
Well, yeah, that's good. So how early did you start playing football? Like, what age did you start?
I was I have a late birthday, so I was 11, but I was in eighth grade, so I was playing with 12 years old. So I
Oh,
was 11, and I started in eighth grade playing with 12-year-olds.
oh wow. Okay. Now, have you been playing every year since then, or have you taken any breaks to focus on something
I
else?
played I played I played every single year since then. I had 2 years of college football at Western Connecticut, and then I that's when I officially started playing semi-pro. Was when I left school. I had a couple personal issues where I had to go home and deal with some things, and that but I didn't want to stop playing. So I joined what was at the time Middletown Spartans. I think that was in like 2015 or 14, and then I only missed one season. Is I broke my finger, a couple mishaps. I wasn't really
Yeah.
ready to play that year, so I
Yeah.
ended up just taking the year off. But besides that, since I've started playing, I haven't stopped.
Well, that's good. That's good. So it seems like you've been playing for a while. Like, how old are you now? So you started playing at 11. How old are you now?
Currently, I'm 25.
Okay, so you've been playing for a long time. Would you say you fell in love with playing football like when you first started at 11, or did it take some time for you to actually grow to love the sport?
I mean, really, it was early. In my earlier ages, I didn't play a lot of organized sports. The only sport I did was wrestling, and from my parents' perspective, they thought I was a little bit of a sensitive kid, so they thought I couldn't play football. They wouldn't let me play football, and then but I would always ask from like the time I was in fourth grade until the time I finally got to play. I would always
Wow.
beg to play, and then eventually I got to play in eighth grade, and then after I got to play, I it was just natural to me. I growing up, I always played in the streets in the backyard and shit. So I'm sorry to swear, but yeah, yeah, I always grew up playing in the backyards with kids and stuff, and I was always like, it just felt different compared to everybody. So
Yeah.
I always had a passion to want to play, and when I finally did, I never let it go. I'm having trouble still letting it go.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, you've been playing for so long, and you've been playing semi-pro. You said since like 2014, which about 6 years. How many more years do you feel like you have and you left to give to the game?
That's a good question, and I think And I've actually been pondering it for like 2-3 years ago. And the honest answer is, if me and my friends that have joined the CT Mustang this year, if we won our championship game up in Vermont 2 years ago, I probably wouldn't have played another down of football after that game. But we
Wow.
lost, and we've been chasing it ever since. So that's kind of like our thing right now. Is we all can't let go until we accomplish what it is we set out to do.
Oh, that's pretty good because some people just they set a goal and then they get defeated if they don't attain that goal, quickly. But it's nice that you guys are, going to stick to it until you get your goal. Now, how many years have you been on the Mustangs team?
This is my first off season with the Mustang. I have never worn a Mustang uniform.
Oh, okay, cool. So, I mean, I've interviewed some of the other guys, and they pretty much are talking about bringing the championship home. So, I mean, you have
That's the
that
plan.
same, you have that same thought. So that's right there. That's already that chemistry. You guys are basically focused on doing the same, having the same goal. So hopefully you guys can get out there on that field this summer
Yeah.
and get that win. So you mentioned earlier that pretty much your only hobby is football. But is like literally is that the only thing you do outside of going to work and being with your family, like just football? There's no other hobbies that you have?
Literally, I'm a sports it's a semi-pro sports fanatic. That's all I do is I just watch sports, and analyze athletes. That's all I just love the sport industry.
Hey,
So I
nothing wrong with that.
fantasize over.
Okay.
Sports
Okay.
and music is my thing.
Now, besides for the love of football, just loving the game, what do you wish to get out of playing with the Mustangs?
To be honest, I like the camaraderie that this team has, like more than probably any other team that I've played on. We all have a chip on our shoulder, I believe would like to say, but I don't want to say it's one because like some people take a chip on your shoulder the wrong way, like you might be moving
Yeah.
angry, but that's not how anybody on this team. Everybody on this team has something to prove. And what I would like to take from this is I would like to add to my extended family because playing semi-pro is I've expanded my like the people that know me and all my friends. And honestly, I think that will open up doors for what I want to do when I stop playing football because, like I said, I'm huge into the watching and analyzing. And one day I want to coach, and I would like to bring all the people that I know together maybe one day. And maybe I'll have a bunch of my friends' kids on my youth team to start my path or something like that. I feel like I have a lot of influence on people, and I feel like adding to adding myself to the Mustangs is gonna give me a wider variety of people because I feel like the diversity on that team goes far.
Yes, it does, definitely. And a lot of the guys are saying that also, like you they want to use this not only as, because they love playing football, but because it will open up doors and potentially open up doors to things that they want to do in their future, which is really great because when you are in an organization and you guys become like a family and a brotherhood, you know that you
Right.
always have people that will support what you want to do with your career. So that's really good.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
so where do you see yourself right like next as soon as you decide, okay, um I'm done with playing football? What is next for you? I know you mentioned the coaching, but is there a step between
Yeah.
coming
Actually,
out to coaching?
another hobby I should have mentioned is I'm really into like fashion and stuff and like catching like the trends and stuff. So actually, that's probably the first thing that I'll do when I stop playing football is dedicate myself into maybe starting like my own clothing brand or something like that.
Oh, wow. Cool. See, now this interview, when someone sees it, they're gonna see you, they're gonna see number zero, they're gonna see Darence, and they're gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna look for his name because as soon as I see his name in the fashion industry, they're gonna support you, or who knows, they can give you that opportunity to say, hey, I saw you and I know you're looking for this opportunity. I'm a fashion designer, fashion something. You never know who can see this and where it will lead because so that's
Right.
really the purpose of these interviews too, is to just say, um, they want this, he wants you to have support for the field, but also the people who support you on the field can support you in other avenues of,
Also.
your career. So that's pretty good.
Right.
Just my last question for you today. What is it you would like to add to this interview for anyone watching to know who Darence Delgado is? Or what would you like them to know about you specifically?
Um, Usually, typically, I'm a big talker, but this year, uh, I like to say I back all my talk up as well. But this year, my approach is going to be I talk amongst our group and stuff, let them feel my energy so they know who I am. But the number one thing I want to probably guarantee to everybody that's going to be watching these interviews is that I'm going to be an impactful player on this team, and everybody's going to know who I am, including the league.
Oh, that's good. Well, there you guys have it. From Darence's mouth, he is going to be an impactful player on this team. So when you see him, look out for him, guys. This concludes another episode of Meet the Mustangs with your boy, Darence Delgado. Thank you for taking your time out today to speak with me and do this interview. And everyone, have a nice day.
I appreciate you. Thank you.